Sagittarius, my name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your June 2015 forecast for the month. It's a beautiful day outside, and thanks for subscribing and liking and sharing these podcasts. If you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it. Let's start the month, June 2nd, with our full moon, and this is your full moon. It's at 11 degrees Sagittarius. This is in your first house, so you're very aware at the top of the month, but the full moon is bringing an awareness itself in something that you might need to finish up, something that could have been delayed in the retrograde through last half of last month and through the top of this month. The full moon might bring an ending to something that you've been working on. There's a tying things up in a nice little bow at the top of the month. This is the only full moon you'll get this year, so this brings some closure to you, a finality and an awareness, an illumination that something might need to be seen as well, that maybe you're not picking up or not seeing. Now on the 5th of June, I love this transit and aspect because Venus is going to enter the sign of Leo, where Jupiter is currently stationed since last July 11th. And when Venus, the planet of love and money, enters Leo, this is your 9th house of travel, foreign travel, and education, and higher knowledge and your belief system, your spirituality, your religion, the metaphysical areas of life. Venus has a very long extended stay in this 9th house until October 8th. Very rare. She'll retrograde when she's there on July 25th through September 6th, but will still go direct at 14 degrees of Leo through October 8th. She's conjunct Jupiter. This is a magical energy when the two of them are doing what they do best together: love, money, prosperity, abundance, luck, optimism, faith. Beautiful aspect. It's what the magician would be in the tarot. So this is the 9th house. I mean, you could be traveling in a big way. You could really get your degrees and learn what you need to learn through that period of time. But there's a faith that, or an optimism that you can actually get it done. If you were in school and you've been putting it off, putting some things off, this will give you the oomph, for lack of a better word, the chutzpah, to get this accomplished. This is really divine energy in the 9th house for you. Now Mercury's been retrograde, still is when I'm recording these forecasts, my ruling planet. He'll go direct on the 11th of June at 4 degrees of Gemini, having to go through Gemini all over again, like I had mentioned last month. He'll be in Gemini through the 8th of July in your 7th house. Gemini rules your soulmate, Sag. So this is the sign directly opposite of you, where we have most of our energy this month in Gemini. 7th house of marriage, 7th house of partnerships, business partnerships, the house of the others. Beautiful for people, now that Mercury's direct, for communication, for getting the love to come in, hearing news from lovers of the past might have occurred throughout that retrograde for you. Mercury clears his shadow on the 16th, so officially direct on the 11th, but we're good to go for sure on the 16th. Now on the 14th, this is interesting for you, Sag, because Saturn is stationed with you now, retrograde at 1 degree. I'm recording these at the very end of May. But Saturn is going to retrograde deeper now, and he's going to go back to up to 28 degrees of Scorpio. Saturn moved out of Scorpio last December, and he's heading back in there, those last little 2 degrees of that 30-degree sector of Scorpio, to see what you've learned. And he might throw a little lesson your way. Lessons might be a little uncomfortable. Saturn is controlling and restrictive energy. This is what I really would like you to do. I'd love for you to look at your natal chart, because even though you're watching this, if your sun sign is Sagittarius, I'm glad you're watching the scopes. This is your solar scope. However, please watch your ascendant, especially for this Saturn transit, or this, retrograde. Where do you really hold 28 degrees of Scorpio on your natal chart. Now, if you're looking at your astrological chart, think of it as a clock. 9 o'clock positioning, that 9 is the line that determines your ascendant in astrology. And each sliver, from 1 to 12 of them, is the house. So the first house is determined by that 9 o'clock mark. Where do you really hold 28 degrees of Scorpio? That is where your lesson is occurring. In your solar scope, it's the 12th house. I'm not mad at this. The 12th house is the house of rest. If anything, your body might need to slow down. The house of quiet inner reflection and psychic ability. There's a review here, and Saturn wants you to learn something that should have been learned the year prior, 2.5 years prior, that he was stationed in Scorpio. He's going back there to say, hey, I'm going to throw you a little something, and I want to see how you handle it this time, because we're not coming back here for 28 more years. The Saturn return to that specific sector. So it should be interesting to see how that applies to the vast many of you. It's impossible to predict individual forecasts unless you book a reading with me, which I'd be more than happy to go over with you. We can even use the cards too, because I always use them in every reading, regardless of the astrological aspect. Okay, on the 16th of June, we have our new moon at 25 degrees of Gemini. This is your 7th house again, where Mercury goes direct. This is magnificent energy for those of you looking for the soulmate, for the husband or wife, or a great business partnership, for someone who can supply you that right fit in a business pursuit. This is the only new moon you'll get in the 7th, so on that day, the 16th, focus your energy on all things 7th house. Business partnership, marriage, soulmate, great energy. On June 21st, my birthday, I love this day. It's the longest day of the year. It's the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. Happy winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. The sun enters Cancer into your 8th house. But this is a very magical day. I want you to circle it because there is an exact fire trine happening on June 21st at the 20-degree mark, where Jupiter is stationed in Leo and Uranus is stationed in Aries. This is harmonious energy filtering in between your 5th and your 9th house. The 5th house of true love, the 5th house of children and creativity and fun and sports and gambling, and the 9th house of learning and foreign travel and the broadening of your mind and your belief system. There's magic that can happen this day with Jupiter, the planet of luck and abundance and optimism and faith, trining, meeting up with Uranus, magic, shock, electricity, sudden, spontaneous energy is Uranus. He's also a bit of a rebel. A rebel with a cause. There's a very strong magical energy this day. You could spontaneously travel with your children somewhere. You could win something. There's a lot of luck happening here. It's also great for romance outside of your normal location. It's great for single people to go on vacation and meet someone that you'll be with forever. So that's a real good thing. If you want that kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, to each his own, for sure. On the 24th, Mars transits and enters Cancer. Little more soothing energy than Mars in Gemini has been. Mars in Gemini can be very, warrior energy and, I wanted to curse. He could be like, determined, driven, and verbally, which is why I almost wanted to curse. Mars is in Gemini. Okay, so Mars in Cancer, this is more of the fire planet meets the water. So there's a little bit of a calming of that fire, but it's in your 8th house of intimacy. There is stimulation. There's sexual drive. Actually, a lot of sexual drive with Mars in the 8th. This is also giving, though, energy to property for those of you looking to expand that area where you live, what you're buying. That could be great for that. Also, the 8th house of inheritances and shared resources, wills, estates, that could be stimulated for the next 60 days, starting on the 24th. I'm going to get to the cards to see what comes up for you. Just quickly, though, I'm noticing that Neptune and Chiron both retrograde this month. They're not personal planets. Chiron is an asteroid, the wounded healer. I love the energy, though, of Chiron. They're both in Pisces, in the 4th house of home for you, and the 4th house of the mother. For those of you who have had mothers who have been ailing, you could have seen some reprieve happen recently. But Neptune is removing his rose-colored glasses in the 4th house. You might look around your environment and wonder where it is you're actually living, which might actually preempt the move with Mars going into the 8th house. So we'll see. We'll see how that happens for all of you. It has to apply in different ways. I can't be giving the same forecast to thousands, if not millions of people. Let's see what the cards have to say. It'd be interesting if they brought up property as well, which would be the coin cards. Okay. And if you'd like a reading with me, I'm at audreyallison.com all through the week. Just place your order and I'll get back to you. Sag, first card. Okay, the Hangman. The retrograde might have held you up through the 11th, okay? In the 7th house of relationships, perhaps, and with that first house affected with the full moon, you might have thought things aren't moving forward enough as they should be. Sag, you're a fire sign. I don't need to even tell you how you love your pace. You like things to keep going, so that retrograde might have screwed with you. 2 of Swords. A little bit of combative energy, wanting to prove that you're right a lot. The Swords are the mental cards. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You could be at a standstill with an air sign, male or female. I'll do the summation in a bit. Lady of Cups. Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, female. This is also intuition. See how she's balancing that cups? This is all emotional energy. She needs to keep very still and grounded as chaos moves around her. The ocean, you know, she's standing on water and she's not moving. And the Queen of Swords. You have a lot of, well, not really, well, female cards. Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Also, there could be some resentment or some bitterness. Okay. I'm pulling this card too. 3 of Coins, because it came out with the final card, with this card. 3 of Coins. Earning money for creative endeavors and a skill, a trade, receiving money from artistry. See how he's looking out at the view as well while he draws. This view, this vista, is giving me that 4th and 8th house vibe of property and a new location for you. But you know, I feel like you've gotten into it with this air sign female, because I mentioned this. This is Mercury's retrograde, okay? This is a little bit of butting heads in that retrograde with somebody. And I said air sign earlier, and then I pulled this almost in validation of that. It could be that you aren't, there's not a meeting of the minds. You see how that is, I don't know if I'm even making verbal sense right now, but this internally makes sense to me. There might not be a meeting of the minds right now. Someone threw you off your game. You weren't balanced. Someone threw you off your game. And they said something to you. They could say something to you, because the Queen of Swords has a brilliant mind and a spiteful tongue, and she'll cut you open with her tongue if she wants to. Don't get that twisted. So, you know what I say, focus on this final card, your earnings. You can release this. What I love about this card is it was a central card. It's the 3rd one that I pulled. It's where your focus needs to be. And the outcome card could be these creative skills and trades that you have. So make sure to focus on what is true to you. And like I said earlier, she's still in balance. Don't let anyone rock your boat in the negative way. Remain steadfast to your true intentions and release the opposition. Thank you, Sag. I'll talk to you soon. If you want to book with me, I'm at audreyallison.com. You have a sweet June, and I'll see you soon. Bye.